like I say, Boots, I think he's a lot of hype right now. I think he's a talented fighter. I think from the eye test, you seen him doing this, you see him doing that. But again, he with guys that he should do that against. You know, the toughest guy he was supposed to fight was Steve Clayton. Came in there terrified. You understand? He stopped. I don't even think he hit him, and he went down, and they counted him out. So Ennis has not been tested yet. Ennis' chin hasn't been tested. His will hasn't been tested. He hasn't been behind in a fight. So Ennis has not been tested yet. But on the surface, is he a tremendous looking talent? Yes. And then again, I think.
What about this guy Ramon Vela? You think he can test that chin? Do you believe he's a good specimen for that?
Well, like I say, Rashidi Ellis was beating his ass the whole fight. So Rashidi Ellis was boxing him, and I think that if he gonna come together, I think if Boots can, step around and box him, I think he'll touch him up and definitely do the same thing. I don't think he gonna fade late like Rashidi did. Because I think Rashidi was moving too fast. I think he was moving too fast. He was throwing 8 punches instead.
Yeah, it was his first 12 rounds.
But at the same time, he was throwing 8 punches instead of 5. And so I think he moved.
Correct.
He moved himself too fast. I think he moved himself too fast.
Plus, he was injured. His main hand was injured, and a lot of people don't know about that. He's from my neck of the woods, so it's like he was throwing a lot of jabs in that fight, and that's why he got like the record of throwing the most jabs in the round.
Well, like I said, so but to the Wallow and the other guy that interviewed, I mean, it just said that Boots, who again, I don't think they're not dealing with substance because, like he said, we've been trying to get that fight, but when nobody never contacted you, never called Bud, you never mentioned him, your people never called nobody. So when was you trying to get this fight, family? How were you trying to get this fight? Talking, yeah. Everybody that put a mic in front of your face, of course, yeah, I'll fight Crawford. Yeah, I'll fight Crawford. Yeah, I'll fight Crawford. But every single time, now go back and watch this for yourself. Go back and watch after every fight. What did they say? Who you want next? And he said, I'm going with Spence. Every single time. I'm going with Earl Spence. Nobody's trying to break the mold and fight Crawford again. Now, this guy, like I say, he was number 2 in the WBO. Virgil Ortiz turned the fight down. They still don't want to give us that. Virgil Ortiz was number 1 contender. They turned the fight down. At some point, Danny Garcia was number 1 at WBO too, but he turned the fight down, didn't want to do the fight. Then Boots was number 1 after Ortiz fell out, and he didn't want to make the fight. He didn't want to enforce his mandatory on the fight. So obviously, he's not telling his people what to do, and they're steering him in the right way. You understand? So, you know what I mean? So, again, like I say, and I think them niggas was messy for trying to call Boots on the phone, but they got what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? He shut them down. Everybody, Danny Garcia shut him down. He said, I love you, Danny. I fuck with you because they've been friends since the amateur. But you didn't win.
He kept it real.
Exactly.
He kept it funky.
Exactly. With Boots too. With Boots too. Nigga, where was you? Nigga, you didn't never reach out to me, boy. You didn't never reach out to me, boy. You talking in theory, homeboy. Yeah, keep it in theory, nigga. Yeah, in theory, motherfucker. Like I said, now you was WBO number 1 contender. You didn't force that mandatory. Nobody still grilling about that. You asked Wallow them, them niggas, all them Gilly and them niggas, they didn't ask him why. They didn't ask him why he didn't enforce his mandatory. They don't know shit. They don't know nothing about no boxing. Now, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Why he didn't enforce his mandatory? They still don't ask him that to this day. Ain't nobody gonna ask him to this day. You was number 1 in the mandatory. Why you didn't enforce that? Tell me why. All right.
Ooh.
Exactly.
The heat. You cooking right now. You cooking right now. I love it. I love it.
Truth teller. Anybody want it with me about this boxing or about anything? Let's go. Any of them. I don't care. I didn't shut them all down. Even though they try to lie and say that this guy beat me in a debate or he beat these guys, ain't messing with me, man. I'm telling you what. Come on, man. I'm slicing and dicing these guys. These guys don't know nothing about no boxing, ain't been no boxing, can't tell you about no history about no boxing, can't draw nothing from no boxing. I done did everything it is to be with boxing. I've been in this Bud ain't the only world champ that I spar. I spar what's his name? Morales beat him for the title at 130. And Mayweather's fought him. What's his name? Carlos Hernandez or something like that. Man, I done been in there with everybody. I fought in the blue and gold. I fought all over. I've been everywhere. I done fought in barns. I fought on sidewalks. I fought everywhere. These guys doing this boxing ain't put on a glove.